welcome back, and we're asked to simplify this complex expression. So let's do that. So when you see simplifying complex expression, the major thing you need to know is just find a way to remove these imaginary parts of your denominator. You must find a way to removing it. So that is what we are going to do here. So let's start. Now we have on the numerator, we have 2 minus square root of 2i out over 3 plus square root of 6i. So you can multiply it with the conjugate of the denominator. And that is going to be 3 minus square root of 6i over 3 minus square root of 6i. So that is the conjugate of the denominator. So basically what we are going to do is just to multiply everything out so that we'll be able to cancel out the imaginary parts of this of the denominator. So basically we'll now say 2 minus 2i, okay, in bracket of is multiplying the numerator, okay. So out of you have 3 plus 6i, then multiply by 3 minus square root of 6i. So that is basically what it has come down into. So let's expand. So we say 2 multiplied by 3. This is going to give us 6. Then 2 multiplied by negative square root of 6i. So it's going to give us negative 2 square root of 6i. Then we also have negative square root of 2i multiplied by 3 is going to give us negative 3 square root of 2i. Then we now also use this to multiply this, which is negative times negative is going to give you positive. So you say 2i multiplied by 6i. So it's going to give you square root of 12i squared, because you have 2 and 6. So it's going to give you 12. So you have 12i squared because we have I and I here. So it's going to be squared. Then everything over this. When you look at this two question, it looks exactly like completing the square. We have a squared minus b squared equals a minus b and a plus b. Okay, so you can use this where your 3 is a and square root of 6i is going to be b. But let's just do it normally the way maybe you are going to follow. So let's expand. This multiplied by this, 3 multiplied by 3 is going to give you 9. So 3 multiplied by negative square root of 6i is going to give negative 3 square root of 6i. So we also do square root of 6i multiplied by 3 is going to give you plus 3 square root of 6i. So we also have square root of 6i multiplied by negative square root of 6i. So that is going to give us negative 6i squared. Okay? That's what it's going to give us, because negative square root multiplied by anything inside square root multiplied by anything inside square root is going to give you that thing, then your I squared. So basically what we are going to now do here is simplify. So this can easily cancel out this because they are, they cancel each other out. So here we now have 6 equals, no, we say 6 minus 2 squared root of 6i minus 3 square root of 2i, then plus square root of 4 multiplied by 3i squared. Okay, and note I squared is usually negative 1, so I can just write here to be multiplied by negative 1, right? Over, we have 9 minus 6 I squared is negative 1. Okay, so let's simplify further. So you have 6 minus 2 square root of 6i minus 3 square root of 2i. Now plus square root of 4 is 2. So you have 2 square root of 3, then negative 1. Out of, you have 6, 9 plus 6. Because negative 6 multiplied by negative 1 is going to give you positive 6. It's going to give you positive 6. So now let's continue. So we have 6. This is, these are real numbers, okay, not imaginary, so we can bring them forward. So we have negative to square root of 3. Why do we have negative 2? Because we have negative 1. So negative 1 multiplied by this term is going to give you negative 2. Then you now have negative 2 square root of 6i minus 3 square root of 2i out of 15. All right. So that is basically, that is your answer. But you can see, simplify it further to be 6 minus 2 square root of 3 over 15 minus, let's talk about the complex, the imaginary part. You have 2 square root of 6 plus 3 square root of 2, okay, of 2, you put your I here, over 15. So you will still get the same thing. So this is the simplest form of this